this. Let's have a conversation, because things that are important are meant to be talked about. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, I'm Evelyn. This week's video, I wanted to talk to you guys about my recent transition to being like less waist slash low waist slash zero waist. I don't know. It's called a bunch of different things, but I wanted to share with you guys like everything I've been learning and everything that I've been kind of like switching over little by little, because it is a really hard thing to do. I know that the zero waste movement scares a lot of people off because that sounds pretty impossible to do with how many packaging and fast food and straws and everything is everywhere. Like, it's really hard to avoid plastic, but I kind of wanted to share with you guys like the small things you can still do without this big like scary zero waste movement in your face. Like, even if you aren't completely avoiding plastic, there are still small things you can do to still help the environment, to recycle, and to be more intentional with the things that you're purchasing and throwing away, because they do eventually make a big impact. Recently, I have been making myself watch all these videos because I have a lot of free time. So I've been watching a lot of videos on zero waste, what that means, and why people are doing it. My biggest take back was how much trash we really do consume as people, and that to me is insane. I honestly, like, this is just a fact that I found, but 1,200 pounds of trash can be composted every year that people are throwing out. So things that can be recycled or composted, there's 1,200 pounds of it that people are just throwing away and it's going into landfill. And that's sad because our world is so big and eventually there's going to be nowhere for this trash to go, and our planet is going to be disgusting and full of trash, and that to me makes me sad. So obviously one of the bigger things to focus on zero waste is why you're doing it. It's not just a movement or a trend that you have to follow by like bringing your own cute spoons around with you. It's more like, why am I doing this? And that should motivate you more like, hey, I want to protect this world that I live in because it's beautiful and it deserves to be taken care of. And even though I can't change it by myself, my impact will still make a difference. So, sorry with my rambling. With that being said, I have been recently pretty passionate with trying to do my part as much as I can, and just wanting to share with you guys, hey, you can do it too. These are very little minimal things that you can change on your every single day that can make a big impact. So let's get started. My biggest thing that is so easy to do, guys, is stop using plastic bags in the grocery store. That is not a hard thing to do, guys. If you bring your own bags, your reusable bags, you won't need them, and you'll save so much trash with just that one thing, guys. If you don't want to do anything else and you want to do this one thing, that alone is going to make such a big difference. Imagine you going to the grocery store and how many plastic bags you use, and that is a constant, like, that's constant. You are constantly creating trash. Even if you are like me, growing up Hispanic, we reuse our plastic bags in the house and we have like a whole thing under our sink. Even with reusing it, eventually that bag will go either in the trash, into landfill, or most likely is going to be blown away and it's going to go into the ocean where animals choke on, and it pollutes our ocean as well. So with such a small thing, guys, I started bringing my own like tote bags to grocery stores with me and just stop using plastic bags all around, and just that little thing has made such a difference. And so you guys aren't like, oh, well, I don't want to spend money. If you sit down and look around in your house, you will most likely find that you have plenty of bags that you can take to the store. That happened to me where I was like, well, where am I going to find them? And I realized with almost every blogger event that I've been to, they always give me a tote bag, as well as when my mom is bringing me, like, my mom will bring me random foods and stuff that my grandma wants to give me. I don't know where they get this food, but they randomly give me like cans and food and all these things, and they give them to me in these like 2 tote bags. They let me keep the tote bags every time. So I have a lot of random bags like from Publix or events and things like that that I just collected around my house, and I take them with me to the grocery store, and that's all it really takes. As well as I started going to a produce market instead of always going to just like Walmart or something like that for groceries, to try to avoid certain vegetables and fruits that don't need to be in packages. So you can do some research in your town or your wherever you are and see like, hey, where is a local market, even just like the flea market on Saturdays that most towns or cities have, and you can go and try to get produce without plastic and just bring your own cute little bags and get your fruit and veggies that way. Another thing that I did, including my grocery changes, is that I started to get some products in bulk. So bulk is different than going to Sam's Club and Costco. I know that that's very confusing. At first I thought that's what bulk was, but there's another thing that goes under the same term. Bulk also just means going to a store, or a store that involves bulk, if that makes sense. They're not always just a bulk store. So for example, I have one in my town that is called Bulk Nation, and you can get like seeds, nuts, and dry things without packaging. You just bring your own container. So I bought my own containers and I started bringing them to Bulk Nation, and I just got the few things that I can get there that aren't with packaging. Of course, there's going to be some things you can't find there. So yeah, I'm going to have to go to Walmart and get a few things that I can't find unpackaged, but at least I am reducing my waste in those few places that I can just stock up without any packaging. And if you don't have a store like that, usually something like Whole Foods will have a section that is bulk, so you can just do your research and find it in your own town and just try your best. I think the biggest thing here is trying your best and remembering that it's never going to be 100% zero waste, but you can reduce it in the places that you can. Another thing I do with my groceries is that there's certain products I want to get that, or beauty products and things like that I want to get, but you can't really always find them unpackaged. So my next solution would be to try to support a company that is zero waste, or a company that is trying their best to recycle and like they care about the environment. So if you can support a company like that, then it's going to help as well, even if you are buying certain products that aren't necessarily package free. So I do my shopping for beauty things at Public Goods. If you've seen some of my videos, I talk about them a lot because they are a zero waste and non-toxic company, and I love that. So I still have like what I believe in, and I still get the products that I need, which is great. Another very simple thing that I do is I stop drinking water bottles as much as I can. I don't ever buy water bottles for my house. There's no need for that. I feel like that is a waste of money anyway. So I just have a reusable water bottle that I bring everywhere. And even before like thinking about zero waste, that's what I would do, just because that saves you money. Like there's no need to constantly be buying a water bottle. And I always brought this like big old bottle with me because I constantly drink water. Like that is a must in my life. So I always did this anyway, and now I'm even more intentional with bringing a water bottle with me no matter what, because if not, I don't want to use a water bottle and I tend to refuse it. Then I get thirsty and that's really sad. So I always keep one at my house and one at work in case I do forget. And I just have a few of them because I've always had them anyway, and it's so convenient and easy, saves you money, and you're saving the planet. Another thing I do is that I have metal straws. I got these a long time ago for my birthday because I love straws and I don't necessarily want to use plastic ones constantly either. So again, before being zero waste, I already made this transition, but that's something that you can easily do on Amazon. They're like $10 for a whole pack of them, and you can start bringing them with you, because I know most people don't use straws at home. I know I do, but not everyone does. But the important thing is, when you go out and you're going to get fast food or something like that, you are going to use a straw. So bringing your own will make a big difference, so you don't have to constantly use them out and about. You can bring your own and you're not going to be making as much trash. As well as silverware, same thing goes for that. Just bring your own. I know a lot of people buy their own like travel versions because you can buy them like lighter, but again, I prefer just to use what I already have. And that also is a big thing with zero waste, is that the less that you're buying, the more impact you're doing as well, because reusing or using something that you already have is going to help not have to create and use more energy and use more resources to buy this whole new product. So it also makes more sense to first try to look around your home and look for whatever you already have. So if you have silverware, just bring that along with you when you're gonna go out to eat. Or like me, when I go to work, I always have silverware with me, so I don't have to use any plastic forks or anything like that. Another important tip that I do myself, just because it's a lot easier, it's really hard to forget that, hey, I need to bring these things with me all the time. So when it comes to like my bags for grocery, or my silverware, or an extra cup to make sure I'm not using a plastic one or a non-reusable one, I always keep these things in my car so I can always have them on me. My next purchase is going to be a foldable straw, because for me, like, straws are actually something I use constantly, so I prefer to have a reusable one with me at all times, and a foldable one might be more convenient because the ones I have don't really go anywhere. Like, I don't want those in my purse to get dirty. So yeah, bringing it with you is an option, but if it's hard for you to remember, just leave things in your car so you always have them on you if you want like a coffee or a drink or something when you're not home. Another thing that is super simple that I've been doing here at home is that I'm making my own products. So beauty products, cleaning products, things like that. I've been making my own because not only is it zero waste, but it is organic and natural products. And I really prefer that for my home, so I've been doing that transition as well. And so making my own products means I have my own amber bottles and things like that, and I wouldn't have to be constantly use plastic when buying cleaning products. Plus, it's so much more simple to have one cleaning product for everything than a bunch of different bottles for everything, and that's so much plastic. Later on, if you guys want, I will make a video of like how to make those things and how I've been managing with that, because I've loved it so far. Like, I love all the products I've made and I will never go back, honestly. Another place that I'm reducing my waste is with food. That is a really hard one, guys, because a lot of the waste that we have on a day-to-day basis is food waste, because you're cutting vegetables and all these things and you don't eat every single part of it. What I've been doing to help with that is that I have been saving all of my like veggie cuttings that are just extra, like onions, tomatoes, and things like that, freezing it, and then later on making a stock with it so they can get an extra use and not just like be thrown away for no reason. And eventually I want to start composting so that there's absolutely no food waste in my home. That would be so great. I just have to learn about it a lot more, especially since I would have to do it indoors because I don't really have a place to like do it outside. So I do want to start food composting. Another thing is that you can stop buying as much. So something as simple as thinking about like, do I really need to buy this item, makes a big difference. The less things that you are buying, the less things need to be made. So if that makes sense. So less energy, less waste, because you are not needing as many things. For example, I always try to thrift something if I truly need to buy something. So instead of buying a brand new product that will eventually have to be remade, I can go to a thrift store, and instead of something that would have been thrown out, I can give that item a whole new life. So I've been trying my best to always intentionally look for something in a thrift store first, and if I have to buy something new, then I will. But even then, there's other options like eBay, and there's online thrift stores or reusable stores, or even asking your friends, hey, do you have this that you don't want anymore, will make a difference. So these are really small things that you can do. It just does take a little bit more thought. And even when you do have to buy something new, another thing I've done, and it's just of course, guys, like these are all things you have to learn to do. I've learned to like go to the grocery store and ask, what is this made out of? So if I do have to buy packaging and groceries and things like that, like, is this item recyclable? So I rather buy something that I can recycle, or something made out of glass that I can reuse, versus something I'm gonna have to throw away. So that's really important to do as well. When I do buy a bunch of glass jars, like things like pasta or jelly, which I don't really buy, but anything that comes in a glass jar, I will not throw it out or recycle it. I clean it off and I reuse it, and it's actually so fun to reuse them because they're so cute, the little glass jars, and you can reuse it for anything. You can use it as a cup, or to put food in, or to bulk buy. There's so many uses for glasses, guys, so try to use your glasses over and over again, or just recycle them because they recycle indefinitely. Please, guys, please reuse all of your glass jars. Just do something for the earth, please. I'm not begging, but I'm begging. And of course, the last and really obvious thing that I haven't been doing until I've learned all of this is to recycle. Please, 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 guys, if you're not going to do any of these things, please at least recycle. That is the easiest thing that you can do. It's not the most effective, but if that's all you can do, it will make a big difference, guys. We are all going to be buying jars and plastic, so if you can at least recycle it, it will make a difference. I know that I am very guilty of, for like my whole entire life until like 2 months ago, I had a recycling bin in my backyard that I wasn't using because I wasn't aware. I didn't know what could be recycled, so I was too scared to even do it. I was like, that's too hard. Or I don't know, I just didn't want things to go in there that couldn't be recycled. So dumb. I could have easily been recycling so long now because it's literally right there, and I'm paying for it because in Lakeland they charge you for recycling in your water bill, whether or not you do it or not. So find out what your city does with recycling and try your best to recycle everything that you use that can be recycled. Do some research. But the biggest thing out of all of this that I wanted to just say, guys, is out of everything that you can do, the most important thing is just to be knowledgeable. Be aware of why you're purchasing, what you're purchasing, and just like teach yourself what's going on. Don't be oblivious, okay? Because when you actually pay attention to what's going on and you really pay attention to those things, you'll notice how much trash you're really making. So just thinking and knowing and being aware of what you're buying and why you're buying it and where it's gonna go is so important. Just asking yourself that question of what can I buy right now that is going to be the best option for this planet, that's in itself is going to make all the difference. You don't have to be completely zero waste. You don't have to completely cut out buying things. It's more, what is my best option with what is in front of me? And once you start making those choices, it's going to make a really big difference. So that was all for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and learned something new, and hopefully it inspired you to make a few changes in your life that won't be so hard. And if I did, I think I may have forgotten a few things, but if I can think of anything else, obviously with time I'm going to learn more. I will make another video like this if you guys are interested. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for weekly videos. I will see you guys on the next one.